Greetings all from your commander in the yellow bus. School bus here. Today I'm featuring a video, the ace tanker in the Leo PTA, not the tier 7 Leo or the tier 5 Leo or any of the other Leos. I mean the tier 9 German medium tank. And today it's being driven by MotherGoose. I have not progressed this far down this line, and he has, so it's going to be a while before I'd ever get here, so I'm just going to go ahead and feature his video that he sent over to me. Now, those of you that follow the channel and see some of our live streams or recorded content where MotherGoose, Tow Truck, and I are playing, you know that, well, Goose and I sometimes have some trouble with restraining ourselves and being patient in a battle. We tend to be a little too aggressive. And historically, previously, I would have called that patience. But this morning I decided before I started throwing words around, maybe I should go up and look at their definitions. And patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. Well, most of the time, Goose and I don't have an issue with patience, getting angry or upset. That's not really the issue at all. So then I looked at similar words, and the next one that came up was restraint. And that's a measure or condition that keeps someone or something under control or within limits. This sounds a little bit closer. But off of that, I found another word that was similar, called forbearance. And I had heard this word, typically hadn't used it, and I see why, because on Google it has this handy little graph that shows back to 1800 how many people use that word. And, well, it has fallen to a tiny, tiny fraction in recent years. In fact, by 1900 it was at half of what it was in 1850. Anyway, I digress. Forbearance is patient self-control, restraint, and tolerance. And I think that word encompasses all the elements that Goose employed here at the beginning. Well, now we're through that time to be patient, and now, as typically is the case with every Ace Tanker video, there's a moment of opportunity that is recognized and capitalized on. And there was a push being made by the German 100.1P, and he had some backup support from a Pantera, but they now have found themselves caught out. Goose spotted them, moved in, and with a little bit of help from his team, they have now vanquished both foes and now are returning the offensive. And Goose is not doing this alone or in some level of extreme aggression or beyond the capability of him or his tank. He's simply playing a role here of a medium scout, and he has guns behind him, and they're moving in for the kill. He takes a shot here on the Scorpion. Fortunately, this tank's strength is not necessarily moving or shooting on the move, but it's great at taking shots at range, and we are seeing him do that rather effectively here. General overall coverage of the map, the team is doing well. They're still working the heavies over in the east, so that battle continues on. But now the middle flank has pushed through to the enemy lines, and the western flank is dug in and holding their own. But now, to help out that western flank, Goose and his comrades are going to come in here and begin to get shots in from the side. And, well, yeah, this won't last long for the enemy. Additionally, the east now is benefiting from this central push, and the heavies, the enemy heavies, are beginning to find shots coming in from all sides. Now, one tank that is in a very strong position an opposing Goose. This is Emil 2. He is in a great spot there. Any of you that play with the Emil 2, or really anyone who's ever fought against one, knows that Kid Goose getting some great side shots in here on these guys. The Emil 2 loves playing ridges, and it's well defended in that position, and it can fight well offensively in that position. And you'll see Goose went into his engagement on the Emil 2 with full hit points. Now granted, he did just take a shot. Watch this. Great blind shot. Make sure you have those markers turned on that tell you where the shots come in from. You can actually turn those off, and that would be an incredibly short-sighted thing to do. I don't know if they default to being on. That would be an incredibly low and underhanded thing for a wargamer to do. So anyway, he returns fire. He gets the blind shot, kills the enemy TD, but that Emil 2 just continued to work him over, and I believe that definitely half of the hit points he lost were because of that Emil 2. Now the game's over, and the commentary had to go kind of fast there at the end because the game was pretty much over. So, what have we learned today? We've learned that forbearance, at least in School Bus's opinion, is the right word to describe that restraint that you give yourself, and that holding back in a battle before you move in. And you can also wow your friends with your incredible vocabulary, and if they make fun of you and say, well, those were words that Lincoln used, you can say, well, yes, it was President Lincoln, for those of you outside of the United States. You'd be like, yes, you know what, I'm just using words of my heritage. And so with that, we conclude. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Please subscribe if you're watching this and you haven't previously subscribed to the channel. I'd really like to see that sub count go up, and it's been kind of stagnant for a long time, and that does make School Bus kind of sad. But thanks for watching. Have a great day. Come back anytime.